From the team that brought you the Haunted Files on ParaFlixx comes a new way to experience the unknown. This is the Haunted Files Unplugged, where the lights are low, the stories are raw, and the truth is stranger than fiction. Join Mike Delcoro, Eric Vanderlaan, and their special guests as they dive into the dark corners of the paranormal. From hauntings and cryptids to UFO encounters and everything in between. No filters, no scripts, just pure, unfiltered conversation from the world beyond. You're listening to the Haunted Files Unplugged.
Holy motherfucker!
Happy Monday, everybody. I'm Eric, your host of the Haunted Files Unplugged radio show, and I got my good partner right here.
What's up, guys? My name is Mike Delcoro, and I am your co-host, and we have a great show for you guys tonight. Super excited to talk about some really cool and interesting stuff. So I'll let Eric tell you a little bit more about what we got going on tonight.
Yeah, this chat in here is starting pretty early tonight. Our guest is bringing some people here watching, so we do have an amazing guest. We have a Natalie Smearman. She's a Bigfoot hunter, a paranormal investigator, and she's been experiencing some crazy things. And Mike, I made a little intro about her. I hope she likes it. I hope I didn't do it too bad. You want to see it?
I sure do.
Here we go. Bam.
Awesome.
All right. So let's not waste any time and bring on Natalie. Bam.
Do it.
Hey,
Natalie.
everybody.
Welcome.
How you doing?
Good. Thanks for coming on the show and being our guest.
Thank you. That was a heck of an intro. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Good old cap cuts with a little
That is pretty awesome.
uncopywritten music thrown in there because we can't have copywritten stuff here, right, Mike?
That's right.
Right.
We're by the book here. I mean, we're FCC regulated, but after 950, we can say and do whatever we want. We can drop F-bombs,
Nice.
anything.
Well, that's how I roll, but I'll wait till 9:50.
Yeah, definitely. So Mike and I are paranormal investigators, and you're a Bigfoot hunter, and that's very intriguing to us. How did you get into that?
So I grew up in West Virginia. We always heard about Bigfoot and all kinds of lore. We never believed it, and then I moved to Florida. And then I started hearing all of these reports about Bigfoot sighting in Florida. And so I decided to start studying a little bit more because whenever I hear something, I've got to study it. I've got to understand it. I need to know more information. So I started studying. I started watching documentaries, reading books, investigative measures, tactics. And it was just so cool. And then in spring of 24, I went to my first conference and started to meet people and swap stories and learn more. And then I started my boots on the ground, getting just right in there and investigating hardcore, and I've not stopped. So it's pretty cool.
That's fascinating. And I was going to say, just kind of
growing up in Florida and being an outdoorsy type guy. I was a captain and hunting and different things. I've had some different scenarios and some different reports, and I've always found all these different things, all cryptids, um, aliens, UFOs, UAPs, whatever you want to call them, and paranormal, all super, super fascinating. So yeah, we're
Yeah.
definitely gonna have to dive into this a little deeper. Eric, go ahead. What were you
Oh
gonna say, buddy?
yeah.
I was gonna say like so you were a skeptic before you came down to Florida?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I didn't believe it at all. I thought it was a big joke. I thought it was just a hoax. I thought it was, the elders of West Virginia just scaring kids to get them out of the woods. And, that's what
Wearing
we
a
all thought.
Chewbacca costume.
Right. It was just like, you're just making stuff up. You just don't want me in the woods. And then all of a sudden moved to Florida and boom, these were actual legit reports of Bigfoot sightings in Central Florida, North Florida, the Panhandle, the Everglades. So it was all over. And then the more I studied it, I realized it's not just centralized into Florida or West Virginia. It's all over the United States, Canada, throughout the world.
So here's
Yeah.
a question I have for you, and I'd like to ask other people too that study this, that focus in on it. Do you feel like, I know there's two sides of the camp when it
Mhm.
comes to this, right? Like
Yep.
there's the cryptozoology side, and then there's the actual primate, bipedal primate kind of side of things.
Right.
What and then I guess there would be like also even a third that people say that it's related to like a paranormal or UFO type stuff. Where do you kind of fall in with your thinking on this topic?
It's a great question. And I get asked that a lot. And I started out that this is biological, it's a primate of some sort. And that's how I started out. And the further I investigated, the more I got into it, I realized there is so much more to this. They are more of the Native American spiritual beings that can manifest into energy and go through portals. And whenever that there is a Bigfoot sighting, there is paranormal activity around. There could be UFO activity around. There could be Dogman. There could be other cryptids around that have a similar feel to it with this energy. And so I did think it was a primate at one point, but my investigations and what I have learned have led me down a completely different path.
Interesting. And that's kind of like
Yeah.
what I've heard also, because that's kind of what my thinking would be, right? Like, all right, right off the rip, I'm gonna say like, maybe in Florida during one of the hurricanes, some like, ape or something kind of got loose, or
Some of those pictures, it looks like a orangutan, like something.
Yeah, and Florida has everything in it, all kinds of creepy predators, things that are not native to Florida. So you're to think about it as
we got a python epidemic down here.
Exactly. So, as I was investigating down in the Everglades, we passed python hunters. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in Florida that doesn't really belong. So I can understand that. But then you look at the rest of it as a whole, you're like, okay, there's something more to this.
I've only had one personal experience and with this, and I want to get out there. I want to get out there and do it. I mean, we have the equipment. We have tons of camera equipment, night vision thermals. We have the stuff to do it. We just got to get out there and check it out sometime, right? And
yeah.
But I was heading out hunting, and we were deer hunting in North Florida, a very, very small town called Mayo, Florida. I don't know if you're familiar with that area. It's very, very tiny little town.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of absolutely nowhere. And
home of Hellman's.
No, yeah, exactly. So a buddy of mine and we're driving in his F-250. It's like 3:00 in the morning, and we're heading out to go hunting, and a little bit of fog and stuff, and it was a bit chilly out, and we were in the middle of nowhere, like a dirt road style stuff. And from the passenger side where I was sitting, I saw a good 2 to 3 foot. I don't even want to call it a stick. I almost want to call it a log. It was about that big around, about that long. Came whipping out from the tree line out into the street and hit the front of the truck. and we both we're like, oh, what the hell was that? And I'm like, my buddy's like, do you think it messed up my truck? And I'm like, I don't know, but let's not stop here and let's
Right?
keep going, and we'll check a little bit down the road. So we actually got out and looked at it down the road, and there was like a little dent and a little scratch, but you could totally see if something whipped that thing out there. And there should be absolutely nobody in the woods standing at the side of the road at 3:30 in the morning, where, I mean, we were nowhere. There's no cars, no nothing. There was nobody out there. So that to me was something
My ass would have been back there trying to check that shit out.
No,
Yeah.
man, we were like, oh,
Like, who is that?
Yeah.
Let's find out. No, they were trying to get you out of there.
Oh yeah, you would have to have your sidearm with you though.
Yeah, no, for sure. We were loaded up, but
Yeah, I got my bear spray.
So very interesting. And
that's how you keep the men away, right? Just joking.
So no, very, very cool. And you kind of were telling us backstage a little bit about some of your adventures that you were just doing. I don't know if you're able to talk about that.
Oh, I am.
Okay,
I
good,
am.
good,
In
good.
fact, in the chat, just to let everybody know that I have my producer and some co-stars in there as well, so they can chime in as well if I miss anything.
They had an
but
important question that we need to answer. And
oh
that
gosh,
question is, who's your favorite McDonald's character?
that would be Grimace. Thank you. No, we were joking, and I don't know if I can say this, but what Grimace looks like. We were joking about that around the campfire.
Who's Grimace again? I forget.
Grimace is that purple thing.
The big purple thing.
Oh, that's my favorite too. I was going to say that purple thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or what's the robber looking characters?
Oh, the Hamburglar.
The Hamburglar, yeah.
Yep. So the group of us, Relic Films, filmed Return to Land Between the Lakes, Making Contact. The other week, it was the first week of November, and we had a very large group of people out there. There was myself, Adam Davis, Melissa Adair, and Greg Ogles, and we were filming, and we asked and invited the NCI guys out, as well as the folks from Seekers. And so we were going to have, different groups going out, or one large group, and it was just amazing. It was just a great week. And so we did a bunch of experiments. And so we started out with a mindset, this is what you're going to welcome for me. Okay. So we wanted to make sure that we set like a foundation. So we all went out together, did an investigation. A lot of the men were armed because we didn't know what we were facing. Of course, we heard in Land Between the Lakes.
I don't blame them
there. Hey, Josh. So we heard about how heavily populated this area is with cryptids and paranormal. So we wanted to make sure that we were very, very protected. Well, the first couple nights we went out, we had a little bit of activity, but not to the level that we wanted. So we really wanted to get in there. We wanted to come at us, make contact, get in front of us, do whatever we can. And as we were going along, it was, okay, that didn't work. So what didn't work from that? Well, having very large men with very big guns was pushing them away. Maybe large groups were pushing them away. How do they feel comfortable? So then we started using pheromones, perfumes, colognes.
Fruit by Fabergé.
Obsession for men. It was really,
I go to Walgreens to get the cheap stuff.
Yeah, I went to Walmart to pick this stuff up. So
Bigfoot, are they very bougie, like very particular?
I'm thinking they did like a combination of Obsession for Men and Victoria's Secret's. I forget what it was. It was some Victoria's Secret.
I have.
That's funny when you said that with the pheromones, because I was thinking that that would be a good way to draw in something of that nature, just to investigate, like, what is that? You know what I mean? Like, they would be like, all
Right.
right, what does this smell? I haven't smelled, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I know this is going to sound kind of gross, right? But I know back in the day, I grew up as a, boat captain and different things. Some of my captain friends that used to deer hunt, they would bring some of their wives' feminine products, like
Mhm.
used, and bring them out there and lay them
Yep.
out by the trees, and it would, the pheromones and everything would bring in animals.
It's funny you said that because we did use urine, and we had a urine sample from a young woman on her cycle,
Mhm.
and we put that out as well. So we wanted to make sure that we did all of these experiments and to make sure that
It's
we
funny you
covered.
said that. Someone just typed that up, and that's that question. They're looking up the cycle.
Yeah. And so we used that. And also they had a little disc of ape pheromones.
Whoa.
So
Okay.
that was put
Oh
out as
wow.
well. So we wanted to make sure that we covered all of our bases.
Where do you get that from the zoo?
That is a great question. I don't know where she got it. So I'd have to ask Kristen about that.
Very
So
carefully.
yes, very carefully. I'm like, where'd you get it? Like on the black
Michael
market?
Michael Gagliano's full of pheromones. He's like
I,
oozing
you know, Mike,
it.
we know you're full of pheromones, and I think you're the one that gave all the urine samples.
He's like a
So
magnet,
he
but, he,
is.
but he's got
Apes
that.
love him.
He's got that asparagus green urine. So it's like it like
Juicy.
glows,
Yeah, yeah.
right,
So
Mike?
That's right.
yeah, there he is. So it was really a cool experiment because it worked. Because we used it
Nice.
around base camp where we were camping out. And we used it in this one area that we wanted to go back to and do an experiment where we would go into this really, really hot area where a lot of cryptids were known to be around. And this was an area where you had to drive in about 20, 30 minutes, and it was out of a horror film. This
Oh
was a
wow.
tiny little dirt road, and it was overgrown, and I have a little truck, and I'm making my way through, and like brush and everything is hitting both sides, and you're just making it through.
That looks like a
And
shiny brand new truck too. You're probably like, damn, I'm getting all these
I
scratches.
know, right?
Mhm.
I was like, I bought that truck just for that, but I was like, oh, please don't scratch it. But we got there and we decided that we would have an all female investigation crew with 2 men filming. And then we would have the only weapons that we would have is me with bear spray and Greg Ogles with a pistol. And so it is a truck. And so everybody makes fun of me. They're
El
saying
Camino.
my Santa Cruz is not a truck. It's a
I
truck.
like those trucks. I think they're pretty
Thank
cool.
you. Thank you. Anyway, so we get there and so we pull our trucks around, we leave the windows down, the keys are in it. So if we need to make a break for it, we can get in and just roll out of there.
Mhm.
So the goal is to go in very aggressively, start a fight, see what we can do. Earlier in the week, I was in base camp walking to the little porta potty, and it was at night, and I got growled at from the woods. And it wasn't aggressive, but it was more of like, I'm here, don't come over here. You're there, you stay there. So I was like, okay, I was respectful, stayed clear of that area, but I remembered that growl. And I said, I'm going to mimic that growl up here. And I
Can you
said,
do it
once
now?
I do that, let's see what happens. And then the other women would join in. So we're up halfway up the hill in this graveyard, and I do 3 growls, and immediately it just broke loose. From the ridge, you hear bam, 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 and the ground is shaking.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, I looked at Greg and I said, we got this. We got it. So I growled again. Boom, boom, boom. And I mean, the ground, it's like an earthquake and it's shaking. And then immediately we hear all this movement around us. And so we had two ladies with thermal imagers. So one lady was facing one way, one lady was facing the other. We had not a full moon, but almost a full moon. So we didn't need flashlights. We could see pretty well.
Uh-huh.
And so Melissa Adair, she starts with a howl, and that creates more movement and more sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Then I look up at the hill along the tree line, and I see behind this tree a white light illuminating the back of the tree, but it wasn't projecting light. It was just illuminating the back of the tree. And then there were little like twinkles around it. And I'm like, I said, are you guys seeing this? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, let's just keep an eye on that. We're just going to keep an eye on that because I wasn't sure, but we'll just see if it moves. Meanwhile, we're still having all kinds of sound movement all around us. And then the little fairy lights start. Little fairy lights are twinkling all around. And then I look up at the tree line again, and that illuminated tree is now looking like it's a complete oval of light.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like,
You know, and it kind of sounds, what you're saying is, it sounds familiar to people that have reported UFO sightings and then went out into the woods and then you're kind of
light.
yeah, it's very similar.
yeah,
to,
it's, and so I'm like, at first I'm questioning what I'm seeing. And so I'm asking, are you seeing that? And so everybody's like, yeah, we're seeing this. And so Greg makes another growl from a male, like really, and then all of a sudden, I look up ahead at the top of the hill, and right beside this oval light comes a crawler out. And I say, I have a crawler at my 12 o'clock. And then another one comes out. I said, I have two crawlers at my 12 o'clock. And then another one comes out. I'm like, I've got three crawlers at my 12 o'clock. And they're down on all fours, moving and swaying. And they're not in unison. They're all very, very different. And I'm like, is anybody seeing this? And meanwhile, we're still having movement. And now there's a strange dog barking behind us. There's nothing. There's no homes. There's been no dog barking. There's a strange dog barking behind us. So now we have to watch all around us for the movement, the barking, crawlers, lights, fairy lights all around us, movement. And now Melissa goes, I don't feel good. I said, get behind me and see if I can block it. She got behind me. She felt better. She goes, I'm feeling better. She steps out.
What was she feeling?
She was feeling nauseous, lightheaded, just overall not feeling good. Mm-hmm. Then Jamie, another lady with us, she goes, I'm not feeling good. I feel nauseous. I feel lightheaded. I feel dizzy. I'm like, get behind me. For whatever reason, whatever that either infrasound or whatever energy that they project out, it doesn't affect me. So I said, just get behind me. So she got behind me. She was feeling better. She stepped out. Then both Melissa and Jamie got sick at the same time. So I had them both behind me. So I'm trying to protect them and watch up ahead. And then Greg looks and he went, oh, and this crawler is charging us. One of them is charging us, and its arms were just long and skinny and lanky and these like long fingers. And it's like a gallop crawl thing, and it's just on all fours coming at us. He drops or lowers his camera to grab his pistol. I dart forward with my bear spray. I shoot the bear spray at it. It stops it and it retreats back up the hill. Now, mind you, bear spray lingers, so we had to retreat down the hill.
What is that exactly?
It's like a very powerful mace.
It's a powerful mace in a large canister that shoots about 15 to 20 feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
For bears.
So I don't like to hurt anything regardless of what it is in the forest. So I just take bear spray because it's going to stop whatever in my head, it's going to stop whatever that is there. And it stopped it. It stopped it. It retreated, but we had to retreat down the hill because of the bear spray. We all had to get in close because we're now surrounded. And these things were coming to attack. I don't know if they're coming back to attack. We're being mindful. I'm like, look out at every direction. We have thermals everywhere to look out where everything is. And we're moving down the hill. We get close to where the trucks are. And immediately behind us, we hear the loudest scream from the field. Kristen turns around with her therm and she goes, I have a large bipedal entity standing in the middle of the field. And we're
Bipedal, like one-legged,
like
Two
two
legs.
on two legs,
2 legs. Okay,
standing
five.
up. And so she goes, there's a large bipedal standing right there, not moving. That's where the scream came from. And we're like, we're completely surrounded. So I look to my left, and now there are red orbs in front of my truck. I look to the right, there are red orbs on the other side of the other truck. And I'm going, oh, this isn't good. So I'm like, just stay close. We're not going to, leave one another. Just stick close because we don't want anything grabbing one of us and taking us.
Mm-hmm.
So then I look to my left and I'm like, there's something not right. And then I heard them say, our batteries are dead. Not only is the battery in the cameras dead, the backup batteries are dead. And now my phone that was charged is now not charged anymore.
And we've run into that, during the investigation.
Paranormal investigations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're like, holy cow. So then I looked to my left again and I saw a giant shadow, what looked to be a Bigfoot, walk behind my truck and disappear into thin air. And I'm going, and nobody else is seeing this because they're all looking the other way. And I'm going, and then Greg goes, normally in an investigation, we would stay, but because we were filming, we went in, looking to make contact, and we did. I think we're done. We can't film anymore. Let's just get out of here. And so we stayed in groups to get to the truck. We got in there, and as we're leaving, I feel a heaviness in my chest. I feel like somebody is pushing down on my shoulders. My stomach is in knots and butterflies. Everybody in the truck was like, we're not feeling good. We're not feeling good. And I'm like, let's just get out of here. And so we leave. And as we turn on to the other road, that feeling just left. And we all felt fine after that. It was almost like, get out of here. They were pushing us out.
That was probably smart. Do you know anyone who's been like attacked? Like how would you protect yourself from something like that?
And that's a great question, because there have been reports of people that have seen portals open up and these creatures, these dark creatures or crawlers come out of the portal and start attacking. And people were having to beat them off with sticks or whatever that they had with them. And I'm thinking to myself, what if a gun doesn't work? What if bear spray doesn't work? What do we do? So luckily, the bear spray worked. It pushed them back long enough to keep them away. And so therefore we were able to get out of there. But it was an incredible journey that whole week.
This was recent, right?
Yeah, this was the first full week of November this year. And it was in Land Between the Lakes.
Something that was spiritual, something demonic, something
I don't think it was demonic.
Extraterrestrial.
I think it was, I don't want to say it was extraterrestrial. I think it was from another realm. And I truly believe that these things exist in another realm, and they know how, for some way, to manipulate energy, open up portals, and move through them. So many people have witnessed Bigfoot entities all of a sudden appearing, turning into an orb and disappearing, or an orb coming in and manifesting into a Bigfoot or another creature. I truly believe that these creatures have the ability to manipulate energy.
Wow.
I've also heard that once there's been a sighting, some people have seen like a UFO flying through the air.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of reports about sightings of cryptids and UFOs, along with a lot of paranormal activity. So once you start diving in, you realize that there's a lot of overlap. There's a lot of connection between all of them.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Very, very wild. I can't wait to hear more. We got take a quick little break.
We got to pay some bills.
That's right.
Pay those bills.
So we're going to take a short break, only a couple minutes, and we'll be right back, folks. What's up? Mike and Eric from the Haunted Files here, and we got these pieces of paranormal equipment in our hand. Why is that?
Because we want to give a big shout out to the Ghost Hunter store, our sponsor. And you might see some of this equipment on your favorite ghost hunting shows. Is that right, Mike?
That's right, especially the Haunted Files on ParaFlixx.
And we're going to give you a special code for a discount on these devices.
That's right. So if you go to the Ghost Hunter store, you go to the website, when you check out, if you enter the code Ghost Gone Wild,
Not Girls Gone Wild.
that's right, you get a discount on your purchase. So check them out. They're your one-stop shop for everything paranormal.
What's up, everybody? I'm Eric, and this is Mike from the Haunted Files. And Mike, we got something special to tell everyone, right?
We do. We have an amazing product here. This is from Haunted Happy Hour, where they make spirit-infused coffee. And what's cool about this product right here is it's the Haunted Files edition. It's a Dark Isles brew.
Yep, and it's got a blend of Irish cream, pistachio, and dark rum. A perfect blend to awaken your dark side, right, Mike?
Hell yeah, it is. And if you're feeling sluggish or you are ready to investigate all night, this is for you, man. And it is amazing tasting. And not only that, but what did ParaFlixx do for us and for the fans?
Well, you're going to get a special discount code that's on the package, and you're going to be able to get 3 months for free ParaFlixx. And who can they watch, Mike?
They can watch us and all the other amazing investigators on the ParaFlixx platform. So get yours today and make sure you check out ParaFlixx and the Haunted Files.
And if you're feeling dead inside, get caffeinated with Haunted Happy Hour.
Are you ready to explore the unknown?
Eventually.
Brace yourself for a journey into the supernatural. ParaFlixx Paranormal Plus, your gateway to the paranormal, all-in-one streaming service. Dare to explore, dare to believe, dare to stream alone.
It does not want us here.
Sign up now and embark on a supernatural adventure like never before. ParaFlixx Paranormal Plus, the universal home of paranormal.
All right, guys. So as we were just mentioning, ParaFlixx, we actually have a show on ParaFlixx called The Haunted Files. This is The Haunted Files Unplugged. The other episode and series that we have is called The Haunted Files, where Eric and I and other teammates or other investigators get out there and we investigate the paranormal in different locations. And
Maybe a Bigfoot one.
What's that?
Maybe a Bigfoot episode on the horizon.
Maybe we could do something. Yeah. Oh yeah. I would love
That'll
to.
be fun.
So we're filming for season 4 right now, and that'll be coming out in 2026. Yeah, if you had a time machine. But yeah, so we're super excited. You can see season 1 through 3 right now on ParaFlixx. I'm just going to play a quick trailer from one of our random episodes. This one kind of relates a little bit to what we were talking about. So I'm going to play this one real quick. It's 1 minute, and then we'll get right back to it.
Clearly an old human skull and then some arm and leg bones.
Martin County Sheriff's deputies, though, did not disturb the site, quickly identifying it as a Native American burial site with the remains of at least 6 people.
We've gotten EVPs of Native Americans speaking, because we think it's related to these mounds that date back like, I believe, 2,500 years. Spirits.
I'm just hearing a lot of stuff. All around me in these woods.
And I looked over and I just saw legs walking. And like a torso, there was half a torso there.
That's not too far from you, Natalie.
No.
Yeah, or Ortona.
Have you been to Ortona Cemetery?
No, I have not.
You're in
Oh,
Sanford,
I want to go now.
right? Okay.
That place
Yeah.
is super spooky. They dug up ancient Indian burial mounds from 200 AD, serpent mounds, and it was a whole basically encampment with full serpent mounds and burial mounds, worshiping grounds and everything.
Moon Mound.
And they didn't know
Wow.
or care what it was in the 30s, so they dug it up and used all the shell mitten to lay the roads over there where they built the cemetery on half of the property.
Oh
So
my.
now that you have
Shadow
old-
figures galore.
oh yeah,
I bet.
We were there last Saturday.
Oh. That
and
creepy.
if you
I
go
would love to
outside of
be
the
there.
cemetery and you go in the back by the mounds and everything,
Mhm.
it gets real weird.
Yeah, balls of light.
in the woods back there. So
That's my kind of place.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll take you there. We were there. The last time I was at night by the mounds. We were back in there, and dude, like, the forest, like the trees and everything. I see a light, like someone is on the other side with a flashlight, and I'm like, "Who the heck's out there?" And I start running out. So there's like this big open space where we parked, because that's where the light would have been from. Nobody's there. It was just the oddest thing.
That happened when we were there as well. We thought somebody pulled in with a
Yeah.
truck because it was glowing so bright, like somebody's light bar on. And we
Wow.
checked, and there was nothing there. So pretty wild stuff.
What we would love to
That's
do is we do a lot of sensory deprivation. I'd like to do that, like on a Bigfoot hunt.
Oh yeah. Talking about that, I did a God's helmet before we went out investigating one night.
Oh, okay.
And that was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I don't know if you've ever done that, but it was an incredible journey.
Heck
Well,
yeah. Have you
we
ever
do
seen
a
the
little
goggles
experiment.
that we use, the Delco goggles for sensory deprivation?
I've heard about them. Eric
Yeah.
told me about them.
Okay. They're
Yeah.
using, like, basically instead of a blindfold during the Estes method.
Mhm.
And I would love to because it basically gets you in another state of mind, and
Yeah.
that would be super interesting to do out in the woods. And we did it with Bigfoot Stacy at the Warrior on the river, and we had some really crazy results. Right? Remember, he was like, Eric, one of the
Yeah,
things.
we were doing dueling Delcos sessions. So, like I was telling you before we went on the show, that we were at an event in Tallahassee, Florida, and it was at this place called the Warrior, which is outside of Tallahassee, like out in the woods, where there's been Bigfoot sightings, and you see the nest along the river. So we were like,
Mhm.
okay, so what we'll do is we'll have one person inside the Warrior, and then I think it was Chaz, and then we had Stacy Brown by the river, and we were FaceTiming so you could see what everyone was saying, and we were asking questions to see how they both reacted to it. And it was wild. Like the wildest thing I remember was Chaz was inside the Warrior and he's talking about fishing and things that related to that. And I looked down on the ground by my feet and there's a bag of fish hooks. So I don't know if that's coincidental, but I just thought it was
Wow.
odd. He's talking
Yeah,
about
it was
it. I'm looking at
pretty
fish
wild.
hooks.
So cool.
Yeah, definitely. We got to do an episode.
Well,
So
like
That
we were
would be cool.
saying, like we were saying, is Bigfoot could be extraterrestrial related and UFO related, and they used to use the spirit box to communicate with.
yeah, the original spirit box was called a
extraterrestrials.
Frank's box, and that was
Yeah.
invented to
Mhm.
try to speak with extraterrestrials. So why not, right?
Yeah, because I love doing experiments because nothing is, off limits. Go ahead, try it, see if it works.
Are you intuitive?
Somewhat, yes.
Because if you're intuitive, it's like I don't know if you know who Patty Negri is. She frequents Ghost Adventures. She's actually the CEO of ParaFlixx, and
Oh, nice. Okay.
she's the good witch. So she's the psychic medium. And she said that doing the Delco session was doing like an acid trip without taking the drugs. Like,
Yep.
she just saw this wall where we were in this one room, and is a brick wall, and the bricks were melting, and then just like spirits were just popping out, in and out, in and out, like a portal. It was just really weird. And the devices,
Wow.
and she goes cat, and the cat ball flickers off. It was just crazy.
Have you ever experienced anything with tree knocking? Like any responses from doing
Yeah.
that?
Oh, yeah. I've had tree knocks in Central Florida, and also in the Smoky Mountains, and then of course in the LBL because we pretty much experienced everything there. We had tree knocks, whistles, rocks being banged together right in our camp, rocks being thrown in the water near our camp. Anybody
Why
in
do
a
you
camper
think-
was getting pushed.
Why do you think that location in particular is so active like that compared
You
to
know,
other locations?
Yeah, so this area has a lot of negative energy around it based on what has happened over the last 150, 200 years. There were
Mhm.
settlers there, and then these rich and people came in and pushed them off their land because
Developers.
they wanted to make money. There was some violence involved. There were some murders involved. They dammed up the river, made a huge
Around what
lake.
time was this?
I want to say it was sometime in the 1800s, but don't hold me to that. I'm sure somebody in our chat will know, but it's actually 170,000 acres of land.
Okay.
And
So it's
so,
very dense. Anyone can get lost there. Any animal
oh,
can get lost, like
yeah,
an unknown species or something like
yeah,
that.
you could get lost very quickly. You could just go out there and, not be found again if you don't want to, because it's so thick. Now, there are hunters that go out there. And then, but what we found is that when we went in guns blazing, they retreated. They were like, I want nothing to do with this. So
Why is
they're going
that,
to,
do you think?
well, they just stay away from hunters. They see what hunters can do, how they can kill animals. So they stay away for safety.
Do
We
you
go
think that
in.
there's a way we can harm them? Because it seems like since they're they're interdimensional, like how
Mhm.
could we harm them? Like I'd be more afraid of them than them
Yeah.
afraid of me, you know?
Yeah. So I think, since the fact that I was able to use bear spray to stop that creature from coming at us and it retreating, I think that they have a physical presence when they want to have a physical presence in our
And it was like a solid
reality.
creature.
Oh,
Like it
yes.
looked
It was solid.
physical, like
Very
maybe you could
solid,
smell
very
it.
physical. You couldn't see through it. As it was coming at us, it was very, very dark and black, but as it got closer, you could see definition because of the moonlight. And I didn't wait to see anything else. And that's when, Greg went to pull his gun and I charged forward and sprayed it. And then I got back. And so
You
if
had
I'm able to
also
do that,
you had also mentioned that while you guys were sleeping, they were in your camp
yeah.
and you had tents and you had
Yeah.
campers.
Yeah. So I slept in a tent. We did some rustic camping. There was like a little outhouse, so to speak, that was close by. but we did want to see if we could bring some Bigfoot into our base camp. So I used some pheromone sprays around the camp, and it worked right away. Like that night, we had Bigfoot in our camp. I heard one walking past my tent, real heavy foot, and then started playing in this giant bin of water that we had for like our shower tent that we had.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just splashing in the water, having a good time. And then we kept hearing whistles and rocks clanking together. One night we heard one trip, like it must have tripped over some brush. Other nights we were having anybody in a camper got it like not real hard push, but it was like a bump. And everybody in a camper that night got bumped. And that was cool.
If my girlfriend Franny is listening, you hear that? They don't like campers. She won't sleep in a tent.
But honestly, the tent was the safest place because they were like, you're in a tent. I guess that it didn't bother them.
Yeah.
And so the people in the tents did not get messed with.
Interesting.
I was almost hoping that they would like push down on the tent or see what, play with some stuff or whatever. And they didn't.
So for our Florida folks, you were telling me that you were recently down by the Everglades doing a skunk ape expedition.
Yeah.
But it sounded like it almost turned out more as a paranormal ghost hunting type thing, right?
Very, very much. And so we went down to the Everglades near Skunk Ape headquarters. We were there for a alligator wrestling festival where the Miccosukee and Seminole Indian tribes come once a year, and they demonstrate how their ancestors would hunt and wrestle alligators. So we attended that. And then that evening, 40 of us went out into the Everglades and did an investigation. And so as we're walking, Josh Adia, who is in the chat right now, he and I were there walking along a trail, and it was starting to get dusk. And I see something in the distance for a flash. It looked like a Native American in a headdress. Like it was a flash like that. I was like, maybe my eyes are playing tricks. And then Josh goes, did you just see that? And he said he saw a Native American in a full headdress. And I'm going, I thought it was just me. So we started to move down the path. I said, I think there's something there. So as soon as we get to where we saw this, there was like an open area of high grass, and then like what looked to be a path into a swamp area. I started getting a real heavy feeling in my chest. My throat was feeling like it was closing up. I started getting knots in my stomach with some butterflies. And I'm like, there's something here. And I was having a hard time breathing. So I'm like, let's just see what I can feel and observe. So I closed my eyes and I could try to see what my mind's eye could see. And what I saw was a female Native American standing there with an elder Native American beside her and several warriors around her. And they're all staring at us like, who are you and why are you here? So I introduced myself. I said, we're here with a group. We're going to be very respectful of your land. We want to thank you for allowing us to be here. And they didn't buy it. They were still staring at us like, you don't belong here. So we just so happened to have children with us, and the children were very curious.
From there is a Miccosukee reservation as well.
Right, exactly. So I had the children come up, and I said, please introduce yourselves. Let them know that we're here to be respectful. Every child did exactly what they were supposed to do. It was awesome. And they all said, we're going to be so respectful. We're only here to observe. And immediately, as soon as they were done saying that, I got a rush of cold, to the bone, passed through me. It passed through Josh and passed through Mike Aguilar, who was standing behind us with the kids. And Mike goes, what was that? And I said, they passed through us, almost like, you're okay. And what they needed is, I think, just the children to acknowledge
the
that.
innocence of the children.
Truly.
Yeah, kind of showed that you weren't a threat, you know?
Right. And it was almost like, you have our blessing. And so then we were able to move forward. And we did hear some sounds in the distance. And Josh picked up something very, very strange on his camera. We were on a road that we didn't need any swamp boots or anything because it was higher than the swamp. But one of the gentlemen got into the swamp with a flashlight and was just going around to see what he could see. Josh had this on camera, and he caught this man, and there was nothing there. I was watching it, and he took the flashlight like this, and right in front of the flashlight was the figure of a Bigfoot in the face, and you could see the features, and it was right there. And with the naked eye, you couldn't see anything, but on his camera, you saw it. And he goes, "You've got to see this. This is insane. This is insane." So it was a really, even though we didn't see any skunk apes, we did hear something in the distance calling back to us, but it was far, far away. But the paranormal activity was incredible.
I may have to revisit that spot. There's a place that's nearby where I've done camping, and it's called oh my God, it's right near the area you're talking about. But you know what? Like, we were talking about urine and everything. Me and my buddies were like drinking all night long and peeing all over the bushes and everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm surprised we didn't get visited. Maybe it was too watered down. Maybe like I should have done like Gagliano, eat asparagus and drink beer. I don't know.
Mike knows the trick. Maybe he could send you some of his urine.
Yeah.
You would be a good sacrificial lamb. You like time to a tree or something, like in his bunny outfit or something. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
You start squealing like screaming like a bunny.
Yeah. Well, Mike is doing Relic Films a solid favor in the end of January. He's going to be the MC for our premiere of The Vanished. And The Vanished was filmed in the Smoky Mountains. And we investigate two very strange and unexplained missing person cases.
Ooh.
And so we're going to have a mini conference. This will be in Alabama. It's on the Relic website, and he's going to be emceeing, and I'll be speaking along with several other people, including Melissa Adair, who is in the chat.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Sounds very interesting.
Sounds like a place I want to go to. Right?
Yeah.
You guys are making me fired up, like wanting to go do an investigation out in the woods now.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So you're in Sanford. Like, is there anything local? Yeah. Like, do you have like a little playground where you go and mess around, where it's active? Like, we have like cemeteries, or that's our playground, or like abandoned places.
Yeah. So what I normally do is to go to Ocala National Forest, which is about an hour and a half away from here, and that's a huge playground where you can have all kinds of fun out there. There's
all kinds of lore and stuff in that, and missing persons, and a lot of lore in the Ocala.
A lot of ancient history, and there's also prehistoric history that goes back there. University of Florida by what's it called? The Prairie. What's the place called? There used to be a lake. Plains Prairie. It's like between Ocala and Gainesville, and it's this big open area that used to be a lake back during prehistoric times. So now, there's buffalo that roam there, but they like found all types of dinosaurs and things like that. Like, why wouldn't a Sasquatch? I wouldn't be surprised if they exist during those times, right?
Right, absolutely. And I did an investigation out there near an Indian mounds, and there was a river. This was about 1:30 in the morning, and then there's
Prairie.
There it is, Ristel. Thank you. There is a river beside it, and across the river is a tiny, tiny little postage stamp of land owned by the government. Now, there's some areas owned by the government in and around the Ocala National Forest that they use for military testing and whatever.
Right.
But this patch of land has nothing on it. And so we walk down to the water's edge and you hear a wood knock, a whoop, and a scream right back to back right across the river. And I'm thinking to myself, normally governments come in and buy up patches of land when there is a known nesting area for Sasquatch. So they protect that land and you're not allowed on it, which we couldn't get on it anyway because there were so many alligators, you couldn't cross the river.
Right. Very interesting. And there's like a lot of bases like all over Florida as well.
Yeah. Yep.
We got like bases in South Florida that are abandoned.
Yes.
During the Cold War, during the missile crisis. So
yeah, that's someplace I want to investigate because that's paranormal, cryptid, and everything in between down there. And it's not I mean, you can walk right up to it.
In the Everglades, there's an abandoned rocket testing facility that we actually did an episode on. And there's a lot of satanic things going on there. Santeria and I mean, it like you were talking about seeing like those creatures coming out, and okay, we're not camping here. It's time to go. That's how it was for us. Like a couple of us got overcame by something we couldn't explain, and it got to one point where things were just getting like serious. Like towards the end of the night, like every different device was picking up devil, Satan, I hate Jesus, ghost. So we were, and then I zoned out. On the way over there, Franny passed out from heat exhaustion. So we were like, you know what? We got to call it quits. This is like the time we need to leave. And then
it's
once we got back to the cars, we like saged our asses, took all the precautions we had to take just in case.
Yeah, make sure you don't have any attachments, any little lingering little creatures, and that's a place I'd love to investigate.
We'll have to take you down there.
So I have a property out in St. Cloud area. It's 10,000 acres. I don't own the whole property, but there's a lot of people. It's all, they subdivided it. It was an old Florida land scam. What they did was they marketed it back in I think it was like the 40s or something. They marketed it to a lot of the Canadians and said, "Oh yeah, buy your property in Florida. It's close to the beach. You could build a beautiful home. It's called suburban estates." Da 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 da. And then the state came in and said, "Yeah, this is recreational land only. You can't build here. It's all swamp." And the people just kind of sat on it or didn't pay the taxes on it. Went back to the government. They subdivided it. So make a long story short, I own 3/4 of an acre on this 10,000, but you have access to the whole 10,000. So you can't build a permanent structure there. There's people have, like, I have an old tow behind trailer out there. It's like probably caving in now. But people build like cabins and different things. There's all kinds of, like, you go out there and it's like you're like, what in the shit is going on here? There's some old
you got a real pretty mouth, boy.
Oh yeah, it can be special, right? But there's been reports of stuff out there too. I don't know how, because there's so many people like just drinking and driving around on their 4-wheelers all night, like it's like loud as shit. But there's been reports out there, and there's some really you get back in there deep, and it's pretty dense stuff. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of abandoned trailers and there has been a couple deaths out there and just a lot of wild stuff,
Maybe they're thinking about moving into one of those abandoned trailers. Shelter.
Right. But I think one of them became a meth lab at one point.
Oh,
it's like there's some real weird stuff going on out there. But like I've been trying to get Eric to come out there with me and check it out. It's pretty wild. And like I said,
ghosts don't scare me. People.
Scare me.
Yeah, people scare me more than monsters and ghosts.
Yeah, that's for
very
sure.
much so.
I agree with that.
I would love to do like a skunk ape or Bigfoot hunt somewhere like that. That's definitely on the horizon. That's something we haven't done in one of our episodes.
Yeah, let me know. I'll head out with you.
All right.
Yep,
Yep.
definitely gonna have to get back to you on that one for sure.
Yeah.
So
That'll
yeah,
be a ton
definitely.
of fun.
Where can people find? Like, I had people in the chat that were just like asking, like, "Hey, how can we find this? Where are we going to get to see this? Like, what's going on? Like,
Yeah,
how
yeah. So we have a Facebook page called Relic Films, and what I want to do is, if you could direct them to the Relic Films area, it's Relic Films Media on Facebook, and tell them to like and follow. And if everybody can do that, that would be phenomenal, because then you're going to get tons of updates about all of our films. The Vanished, as well as Return to the LBL, Making Contact, and the teaser is just released for the LBL Return, Making Contact.
Okay, and you guys have a YouTube page. I saw someone posted up here.
Yep.
Somewhere around here. There's the
Yep,
Vanished.
The Vanished trailer. That's going to be phenomenal. That's going to be released. Premieres on January 31st. And then it'll be released to DVD, and then it'll be streaming. And then we'll be working on getting the Return to the Land Between the Lakes, Making Contact. That should be released the end of 2026.
Okay,
but you can see the trailer, or you could see the teaser on Facebook.
Nice.
And YouTube.
Yeah, so it's guys, it's Relic Films Media on Facebook, and I just followed you, and
awesome. Thank
I'll
you.
make sure I put a link in the description of this video. I'll add the link here.
Awesome.
So,
and if people want to follow you, where can they find you?
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook, Natalie Smearman. I'm also on TikTok as well as Instagram. So definitely send me a friend request or follow me, or so even if you have any questions, send me a message. I'll be more than happy to answer those questions.
Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, that's fantastic, because I know I
send her your footprints.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know we had a couple people asking that they definitely were interested in checking this out. So that's where you can find more information. Just check it out, Relic Films Media on Facebook and YouTube, and you could follow Natalie as well. So is there anything that you want to tell the listeners or anybody that's here on what you have coming up in the future, where people can come see you, or any events that you want to let everybody know about?
Yeah, so we're filming right now of last few episodes of a talk show that Relic Films and I are doing, and it's called Beyond the Ordinary. And it's going to be a once a week show that's going to go on for about 10 or 11 weeks. And we're going to interview amazing guests that are cryptid hunters, as well as paranormal investigators and everything in between. So that's coming out. We have the premiere of The Vanished on January 31st. That's going to be just north, or that's going to be in Alabama, and that's going to be on the website. All the address and everything is going to be right there. And then I have a lot of stuff coming up with conferences. So we'll be at the Townsend, Tennessee conference the first weekend of May. I will be at Squatch Fest in Idaho the first weekend of June. I'll be at the Ocala National Conference for the Bigfoot conference. That's with Gather Up Events. And then I'll also be at the Gatlinburg conference at the end of July. And then the big one, I will be in the UK for the Movie and Monster Con at the end of August.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Sounds great. Yeah, definitely. So make sure you get out there and check it out, and go say hi to Natalie, and make sure you follow her, and so you can see all the upcoming events that she'll be being a special guest at. And for us, you make sure you check out the hauntedfiles.com and check us out on ParaFlixx. If you want to follow me you can go to my website. It's FLA paranormalresearcher.com, and it links out to all my social media. That's the easiest way. But yeah, we love everybody's attendance here and joining in, and it would mean a lot to us if you subscribe and like this episode from our YouTube channel, and come back and check us out. We're on every Monday night, 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's right. And Eric, where can people find you?
So you can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, and TikTok, Ghost Hunter South Florida, as well as YouTube, even though I don't really do anything with my YouTube anymore because I'm doing this. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, Mike and I are going to be coming like the end of April. No, the first weekend in May, we'll be at the White Hill Mansion Paragon.
That's right.
So you can come and see us.
We will be there. And yeah. So awesome show. I want to thank Natalie again for joining us. You're
amazing.
It's been a
blast.
Thank
you so much. I had so much fun, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Super, super interesting. And we had a great time talking with you. So thank you again for everybody that watched and listened to the show. And we'll hope to see you back next Monday at 9:00 p.m. And thank you, everybody, and have a great night.